Hi everyone, this is Helen Nguyen, CEO of 3W Medical for Women. Thank you once again for joining us on Wellness Wednesday, the podcast that's being sponsored by 3W Medical for Women. 3W Medical for Women is a nonprofit women's clinic out here in Seattle, Washington, serving the U District community, and we get patients from all over. But we're so excited for you to join us once more. If you haven't subscribed to our podcast, please take this opportunity to do so. Just click that subscription button, whether you're on Podbean, Spotify, or iTunes, and continue to follow our podcast because we're constantly coming out with new episodes that I think would be of interest to you. So today we have joining with me, Annabell, our certified medical assistant. Hi, Annabell. How are you today?
Hi, Helen. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule and sitting down with us I just wanted to talk to you because you're new to working at a women's clinic. And I thought it would be really interesting, just bouncing off perspectives from you as a medical provider and me as not a medical provider, what it means to be working at a women's clinic and the experience and the environment that the both of us have. So when you were looking for a job, why specifically were you looking for women's health?
Well, when I was looking for a job, I was really kind of confused at first what I wanted to do because I know there was a bunch of things that medical assistants can do. But during the time in externship, I noticed that I leaned more with the women's side. Like I was more into the pregnancy, understanding women's kind of like the cycle, the ovulation, just because it was interesting because no one really talks to you about things that go wrong and things that happen. So during that time of just kind of going around primary care and doing that for a little bit, I noticed that I like women's health care. I like helping women. I like making them feel confident after they leave because it is something that I've always wanted to do. I always wanted to help younger women. I always wanted to help the older women. I just noticed that was something that I was really passionate about. And it took a little bit of time to discover that.
Well, we're so glad you joined our team. Why specifically 3W? Like, what was your first impressions when you came in here for an interview?
The first impression that I noticed was the front desk.
Okay.
When I first met Lauren, super sweet, and I went above and beyond just to make sure I was comfortable for that little bit that I was there. So I noticed hey, this is something that patients really look forward to is because the first thing they notice is front desk. And when I first came in she was wonderful. She was great. And she was just sweet in general. And coming in here, meeting all of you the first time, it was amazing. You guys were all very sweet. You guys were very professional at the same time, but it was easy to talk to everybody. It was an easy bounce back with everybody in the interview. I remember, I think almost lasting an hour and a half just talking to each other, kind of getting to know each other a little bit more. And I liked that. It was different from all the other interviews I went through. It was just, let's sit down, let's talk, let's get to know what you can do for us. And here it was let's know what we can do for you and us at the same time and try to grow as an MA in general, which was great.
Awesome. Well, I'm so glad that you had that experience and now you're able to give that experience to the patients that walk through our door. From a non-medical side, for me, when I was designing the space, when I was trying to put myself in our patients' shoes to make sure that they're comfortable coming into 3W as a clinic, I had experienced many, many times being in a medical clinic that's very sterile, that's very cold. And I know that, we try to keep, those other clinics are trying to keep their space very, very clean. But I think there's a balance that you need to hit with making it not so cold feeling. So, you're so right, having that front desk person welcome you with joy and hope and saying, you're okay, you're in a good spot, and we're here to help you. That really made a difference.
Yeah, totally did.
Yeah. So what were some of the assumptions that you had working at a women's clinic versus what you're doing now? Like, because, I think you had an idea of what a women's clinic was like, but then now that you're actually working in it, has that been different or the same?
It has been very different. I mean, when I was doing the primary care, just for women, it was just pap smears, pregnancy, drinking their juice to check if they're diabetic, and little things like that. But working here and actually really close with the patient, you get to know them very well. And sometimes things that kind of traumatic things about them too.
Yeah.
It's more the emotional thing that comes with it, because
so it's holistic care.
Yeah.
So you're taking into account their physical, their mental health, their spiritual health, all of that.
Yeah, everything. Because when they come in, and when you're in a 15-minute appointment, you don't get to see that side.
Right.
So you kind of just, come on, let's go, and let's hurry, let's get out. But here you have that full hour, so they have that time to hey, this is what's really going on. Hey, they have time to explain to us, hey, I've been through sexual abuse. This is going to be really hard for me. We had women who cried during pap smears. We had women who break down during, the ultrasound, because sometimes they lose what they just saw. And we take that time just to sit with them, talk to them. And they have that whole hour just to vent to us and talk to us. So a lot of the time, I never experienced a clinic that had an hour versus 15 minutes and how a drastic difference it was. It was very different, because for me, I've seen 20 patients a day, but that's 15 minutes. So I never knew what was really going on with them. We just seen them, that one thing, and they were out. Here, it could be we talk about multiple things that happened in their lifetime, and this is why they can't do certain things, and this is why they have certain PTSD. But we also help them hey, these are counseling services, these are referral services. Here's all the services that we can offer here, but we can offer them to you through a referral.
Right.
So we get to know our patients more deeply, and it really does come with, that type of care. And they always tell us, thank you, I appreciate it, I don't know what else to tell them, because I appreciate them for coming to me and opening up to me.
Right. Yeah, it's such an honor. I don't interact with the patients as much as you and the other providers do, but I get to see behind the scenes. I get to see what impact you guys make. And, when Melanie Gibbs and I started this project, that's what we wanted. We wanted a space where women are heard, where they can tell their story, where it's unrushed healthcare that truly focuses on the patient and what they need at the moment. And so the environment in which we, design the space, the 2 consult rooms that are reserved for patients to just be in, it looks like someone's living room. It doesn't look intimidating. It looks very inviting. And you can really bare your heart to the healthcare provider that's doing your intake or that's going to be doing your exam.
Yeah, our patients always explain, I love the setting. I love the consult rooms. I'm yeah, they're really roomy. They make you feel safe and at home. And they always have an easier time to be relax and talk about medical history, because no one really feels comfortable telling a stranger, hey, this is what's all going on. But here, I just, I try to give them that friendly type of feeling just so they could soothe in a little bit, because for them, it's sometimes very uncomfortable to talk about things. But I've noticed the more we let them have that choice of where to pick and sit and having this kind of homey type of feeling, they have an easier time of just talking to me or even talking to the providers. If they don't want to talk to me, sometimes they can talk to the providers. Becomes way easier for them. And which, it's okay. Whatever they pick.
Right. It's really empowering patients. When, like Annabell says, it's really empowering patients. We've designed our rooms so that they get to pick where they sit. And sometimes that is a little bit of control over the situation when the situation might feel out of control. depending on what the patients are coming in, what issues they're hoping to resolve. So it's much easier, I felt like, to design a space where a patient can come in and it's not take off all your clothes, sit on this sterile bed, and then let's get through with this exam. No, let's slow things down. Yeah. Let's really, really recognize your worth as a woman, as someone that's going through this. So thank you so much for what you do, Annabell.
Yeah.
What does it mean to you when you're able to help someone?
That means a lot to me, just because I know they come in worried, and we notice when they're little kind of scared, and when I get down to it and we figure out what is going on, and we figure out, just like even talking to them or even giving them the little like test results and stuff like that, like if they're just hurting in general, coming in here and them leaving happy makes everything just worth it. Like all the things that we put in here and everything that we do makes everything just feels 10 times better when they leave happy and they leave confident and knowing, you know what, this is what's going on. They helped me and I appreciate it. And I love hearing that from them. I remember a bunch of patients will come up to me like, hey, like, I really appreciate it. And I was like, no, we appreciate you for trusting us.
Right.
And I love it. I love hearing them, and I love reading their little reviews sometimes because it's sweet. Everyone that I met here has been really amazing.
Awesome. Well, you've heard it, folks. Your reviews, your online reviews, your reviews at the end of the visit, we always try our best to get feedback from anyone that has visited our clinic because it helps us grow. But your positive affirmation that your visit went well, that feedback really helps us continue doing what we do here. It helps reiterate why it's so important that you're healthy, that we've been able to partner with you in that healthcare and really provide you with that comprehensive healthcare that you've been looking for. So Annabell, why is it so important for women to have a space like 3W to come to for their healthcare?
Just like the thing I said before, having that hour, it really helps. Just so you could get everything out there. Like sometimes women are embarrassed and it takes a little bit more time to get that out of them. And when they do end up opening up to us, we ended up figuring out like, hey, this is probably why it's going on. This is probably, we have more to go off of instead of giving them that short time where they could barely speak to the provider and just rushing them out. Here we take their time with them. We figure out, and then we never, like, they could always make another appointment. We never tell them not to. We always encourage them. Like, if you need more, come to us. We're not busy not too busy. We want you here and we appreciate you. And and it's just, we are a caring team. We do really care for our patients. We do put our hearts and souls into this work. And I think that's something that every woman wants when somebody's coming into that room and getting to know them.
Yeah. We really, just bouncing off on what Annabell's saying, we really want to be your healthcare community. We're part of your team when you're here. Even if it's just a quick call with Annabell or Dr. Rutherford or Christy, just checking in, we want to be able to follow up and say, how are you doing? If you were pregnant and we saw you in your first trimester, we want to check in and make sure you and baby are doing okay. If you had positive STI results, we want to make sure, hey, that positive test result wasn't a death sentence. We want to be able to check in and say, do you have any other questions? How do you move forward? Because it can be scary when your test results come out not the way you think it wanted to come out. So we're here for you. We hope that when you come here, you experience that. Even when I was decorating the space, I took a lot of time spending time at U Village, and I love their bathrooms down there. And so when we were designing our bathrooms up here, we wanted it to always look clean.
Oh, yeah.
Because girls, we know that we judge a place by how clean the bathrooms are. So our bathrooms are always clean. And if they're not, you let me know. But all of our volunteers and all of our staff knows how much of an OCD I am with our bathrooms. But also we didn't want to just give you paper napkins. We want to give you cloth napkins, so you really feel that we cared for every aspect of your experience here. What have been some of the feedback from patients? You touched on it a little bit, Annabell, but when you're back there with patients, like, do they comment about like the artwork and like how I know that some of them have said this feels like a spa, which always makes me happy. So, what did they say to you?
They tell me, like, I love this clinic. It looks super clean. It's not like the other clinics where, like, they have the carpet.
Yeah.
And but when they go back there, they're really impressed how, like, beautiful it is. Like, we have the mirrors. We have, like, the little art pictures. And especially the bathroom. It's beautiful. Like, people love it. It feels like at home, but it also feels like a clinic at the same time. You see our...
Professional.
Yeah, it looks professional. It looks beautiful, but it also makes them feel like, hey, this feels good to have someone actually put time into the clinic and not just kind of throw things around. Everything's really very clean. Everything's very professionally set up. It's great. Yeah. They love it. I know they do. And when we put them into the second consult room, they feel at home and they're just sitting there waiting for us sometimes when we have to get things ready for them. Yeah. And they love it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And we just want to reiterate that, if you're looking for a medical provider out there, you're looking for a space that wants to hear you, that wants to take your healthcare seriously and your health concerns seriously, we hope you give 3W Medical for Women a chance. We're always available to you. You can make an appointment online at our website, which is 3wmedical.org, which is number 3, letter W, the word medical.org. Make a quick appointment on there. Either Annabell or Lauren will be able to get on the phone with you to confirm that appointment. That personal touch is really important to us. So that's why we like to call you to make sure we understand everything that you're coming in for, as well as our app. You can download our 3W app and you can make an appointment there, or you can give us a call at 206-588-0311. Again, that's 206-588-0311. I guarantee you someone will always answer the phone. You're not going to get a machine. We love that personal touch with our patients because that really makes a difference when you can actually talk to someone, especially when you have questions of if this is the right services you should come in for or not. When I started this project with my friend and we were creating this space, we really, really wanted it to be top-notch. We really, really wanted it to be high standards of care, but also personable and catered to you as someone that's going through, maybe a tough time. Or maybe you're not going through a tough time and you just need to talk to someone about it. Please know that we're here for you. And as we wrap up this podcast, I just want to reiterate that we are so very honored to welcome and serve every single patient that walks through our door. So once again, if you're listening to this podcast, you like what you're hearing, give us a review, subscribe to our podcast. We'll have Annabell back for different podcasts in the future. So thank you so much for joining us again, and be well and be safe out there.